very important, right? Okay, before I brief you about the final exam, okay, I want to give some feedback regarding your midterm, okay, a general comment from my side, because the questions that came up in midterm test, it will going to come up in final, possible, yeah? It may come up again. So I can see some minor issue that you need to do some improvement, okay, when I read your answer. Okay, first thing is try not to provide a brief answer, too brief. The answer cannot be too brief for final. Midterm, consider very lenient marking. Okay, some students give related terms with related explanation but not complete sentence. Okay, faster find your seat. Okay, what I said, do not provide answer in the very brief explanation. I want as detailed as you can. Okay, especially theory. Theory, if the questions award you 4 marks, then you should be able to provide 4 points, not 4 sentences. 4 sentences doesn't mean that 4 marks. If the 4 sentences that you provided are same point, still 1 mark. Okay, so refer to the mark allocation. Okay, that's one thing. Then second thing is, I realized that most of the students memorize without understanding. That's why when the questions change a little bit, they still give whatever they have read. So you have to read the questions based on the requirement. Okay, the coverage definitely is within our syllabus, but it cannot be like 100% same as your tutorial questions, right? Okay, I take for example, question 2 in your midterm is asking about current account deficit and current account surplus. Why deficit doesn't mean is bad, and then surplus doesn't mean is good, correct? So the mark allocation is 6 marks. Meaning that I expect you to write at least 3 justification on each current account deficit and current account surplus. Okay, not. I know that some of you very good. You copy 100%, memorize 100% from the tutorial answer and paste it. Okay, I just worry. This one we can get 6 marks. I just worry that what if they give you 8 marks? Not sufficient already. So you have to further elaborate based on the mark allocation. Okay, you cannot argue that I already write exactly the same as tutorial, but the requirement is different. This is no longer principal paper, it's a final year paper. So midterm still fine, but I just can forecast that if you doing the same thing, okay, then you may have problem in getting full marks in final exam. Okay, so understanding is very important. So when you do revisions, don't memorize only, please. Put some understanding inside, okay? Because midterm no calculation, right? Maybe some of you didn't score well, okay, due to 100% theory, but final exam we have calculations, yeah? So bring in your own calculator, okay? No sharing during exam. 40% calculation, 60% theory. Okay, for those who just aim for calculation only, not enough. What if you didn't score well and then plus you didn't study for the theory, then you cannot pass one. So you have to still focus on the theory part. Theory stands 60% for this round. Okay, the format of the exam will be same as past year. Okay, if you look at the past year paper, right, these are the instruction. The first page instruction, same for your coming test. So 3 hours duration. Our final will fall in, what date already? 8 is it? 8th of May, 9 a.m. to 12, early in the morning. So be punctual, and I still need to remind you, make sure you wear a proper dress code. Okay, they said slipper cannot, sandal can. What does it mean? Your shoes at the back must cover one. Okay, if you are injured, please bring some document to prove, just in case they stop you from entering the hall and wasting your time. Okay, 3 hours is long, but if we take some time to settle all these unnecessary issue, okay, then you wasted your time. You don't have sufficient time to check your answer later. Okay, I will teach you how to manage your time also. How long you need to spend for certain questions. Then only you have sufficient time to double check your answer. Okay, the instructions is same. Okay, so I've got two sections, A and B. Section A got 40 marks, all compulsory, and it has sub questions A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm not sure until what alphabet, but the more questions, the better for me, because it can diversify your risk. One part A wrong doesn't matter, you still have a few sessions for you to cover. Okay, so more section actually is good for you. Then section B, each question carry 20 marks. It can be calculation, it can be theory. Okay, all these are A and B sections. Both sections, we don't assess you by chapter 1. It can be one question have few chapters. Okay, so now the important is how many chapters will cover in your exam. 10 chapters. Okay, no worry. This chapter, because this is international finance, you need to learn something basic, then only can calculate something, right? So that's why got 10 chapter. Focus area got few only. Okay, so later pay attention lah. Okay, so this is how it looks like lah. So if later we're going to use this paper for discussion. Okay, this is how it looks like. At least you have some confidence. You try to get yourself familiar. No surprise during final one. Okay, need more practices before you enter the exam hall. So meaning that no formula, no table, whatever additional tools for you. You have to bring in your own calculator and stationery. Okay. What else? Okay. So are you ready? I'm going to brief you the 10 chapters that you need to focus. After I brief you, no qualification, no personally qualification. Okay, can I understand? No more asking about the final exam coverage. No, to be fair, everyone one time only. Okay, you can discuss with your friend, but no discussion with me. Okay, yeah. First chapter not going to come up, and the last chapter, the one that I didn't teach one, also not cut off. We start from chapter 2. Okay, chapter 2 focus on current account. Try not to spot because I already narrowed down the scope for you. Meaning that, current account, definition, item, what are the items in the current account, what is the relationship with current account and the BOP or financial account, you don't spot, you study all for current account. Okay, like for example, until end of the chapter, it also mentions that what are the methods that actually can solve the current account deficit. So we have 4, right? Don't spot. You spot, you are in danger later. Later it come out specific question you cannot answer. So please study all. At least have some idea. Okay. At least not submit empty script to me. Okay. Able to write something. So that is for chapter 2. Only current account, no calculations. Theory only. Okay. No formula. Meaning that no need to calculate. Chapter number 3 and 4 is considered one chapter. 3 and 4. Focus on bond again. I just can tell you, not too basic one. Okay, meaning that I'm not going to ask you the definitions, the characteristic of the bond, but you need to know other things about the bonds. For example, we have foreign bonds, euro bonds, why we issue bond, why you invest in bond. Okay, focus more on this area. No calculation, theory only. Next chapter. Chapter 5, yeah? Chapter 5 just focus on calculation only. Okay, try to practice on cross rate. This one I can terus terang for you lah. Cross rate. important. Start from day one, I already tell you cross rate definitely will come up, right? So cross rate, it can be given you, it may provide you one rate or maybe bid or ask. So most challenges is a bid and ask, right? So just practice only, okay? Cross rate, and then next chapter, okay? So little only to study. Okay, chapters, that's chapter 5, chapter 6. Chapter 6, theory. This one is about exchange rate system. This is what happened in the midterm. Fixed rate system, some of you try to provide other type of exchange rate system. I do not know why. Give me managed float system, free float system. Read the question carefully. Okay, and this round, the area will be wider, not only advantages and disadvantages only. Okay, but possible you will cover the same questions. So study all types of exchange rate system, including their pro and cons. Okay. So for the bank, the government measure part, okay, so how central bank sterilize, desterilize, all this no need. Okay, just focus on exchange rate system. Okay, next chapter 7. This one is wider because little thing to study. Country risk. Later when we look at the past year, we can actually forecast the question 1. Remember we have 10 factor. How this 10 factor actually explain the country risk. This one also have been discussed in your tutorial also. Almost every semester come up, okay, but not all 10 factor will come up, right? Okay, so the questions may be give you directly the specific factor, and then you based on the factor given explain. Another type of question is they don't give you at all. They ask you to provide and explain. So cannot spot also. Have to go through all the 10 factors. Okay, theory only. Next chapter, chapter 8. Chapter 8 is about the foreign exchange market, right? So this one focus on options. Yeah, options. What I say, which part is important? Option. I explain very hard in front one. The moneyness. Okay. Try to understand call, put about adding money, in the money, out of money. Okay. When to exercise, when we can't exercise. What's the meaning of indifference between? What the meaning of add the money? Okay. So tutorial. I think that's one question we have covered, right, about moneyness, but not all. It's only call is most only when spot price more than K, correct? More than exercise price, right? So the question may be different, Okay, don't memorize whatever you study and then give everything. Oh, don't do that. Okay, maybe they just ask you put, don't give me call. Okay, what happened? If you give me more than requirement, marks will be deducted. Let's say they ask you what happened to about put option, but you give put option already, at the same time you give call option. Additional answer, right? Minus mark. Minus how many mark I do not know lah. Depends on the questions, depends on the marks also. So don't give me extra. It shows that you don't understand what the question want, and you hope that the marker will help you to choose the best answer for you. Impossible, Okay, similar for other theory question. If they ask you to provide 5 factor, 5 impacts, don't give me more than 5. Give me whatever numbers that required only, because additional we are not going to mark. Okay, the worst case we minus mark if you give contradiction answer. Okay, by right correct already, then you explain more and then become wrong. So because contradiction answer, so be careful, Try to give specific answer only based on the requirement. Okay. Next, chapter 10. Chapter 10 is about exposure, remember? So this one, you have to study whole chapter, I do not know. Okay? Exposure, we have translation, transaction. It may ask you to compare them, or it may ask you the 4 methods how to calculate the translation. Okay? So, but no calculation, theory only. I think this part easier, even though wider, right? Later we look at the past year question, it will focus on few areas only most of the time, okay? And the last chapter, calculations, more focus on last chapter, okay? Oh yeah, I skipped on chapter 9. I skipped the chapter 9 just now, right? Yeah, chapter 9, go back to chapter 9. Chapter 9, purchasing power parity calculation. But you have to focus, you have to understand what's the meaning, otherwise you cannot interpret, okay? And CIE, covered interest arbitrage. Remember, you have to show the step, how to earn arbitrage profit, okay? Please make sure your explanation is complete. Don't give just calculation on it. You have to explain every single step, because explanation carry mark, calculation also carry marks. If you just give me the final answer, correct one, but without any explanations, then let's say this is 10 marks, you only have 5 marks. So half of the marks is actually more on, is go for explanation. Okay, you just follow your tutor. Your tutor teach you how to show the answer. Please follow that step and the sequence. Okay, now we go back to our last chapter 11. Okay, last week I told you how many alternative method will come up for hedging. 4, right? Okay, focus on forward, money market hedge, option also. Just now options is theory already, right? Now options we have calculation and exposure netting. I already give you very detailed, so please don't go for receipt. If you go for receipt, no tips, no coverage, Don't ask me. Okay, so only one time chance for you to score. Okay. So today I'm going to start with revisions by using the past year questions, and I will only focus on related, relevant questions only. Those I didn't cover, you want to do extra can do lah. Okay, don't ask me whether important or not. I skip meanings then no important. Okay, and then it depends on our progress. If we have more time, then I will give you more exercise for the following classes only. Okay, it's just like repeating the revision. I'm not going to share any soft copy answer with you. Okay, don't ask for the answer. Even though after you finish, you already finish completing the questions. Okay, please understand that I have 300 over students. I cannot mark for you. You send to me, you want me to mark, I need to spend time. Now I'm busy marking in coursework. Then later on I'm busy with duty. So to be more effective in your learning progress, don't send the whole copy to me. You just clarify with me for the specific questions. Okay, but I believe after these 3 weeks, after we do revisions, whatever important question definitely already covered. Unless you want to do the very early, the previous semesters one, 5 years back, okay, if you can dig out all the past question, want to do extra, please don't submit the whole copy to me. You just clarify specific questions. For example, you already done, let's say this questions 1, and then you done all the answer, but you are not sure about part A only. Then you just screenshot the part A question and answer for me. From that, I can check for you. But you ask me to mark the whole paper, it's really taking my time, Not because I don't want to have. If I have time, I will do for you, but I don't think I have. Okay, so don't let me reject you. Or when you try to Google chat me, okay, try to use Google chat, don't email me. Google chat, okay, make sure your question is understandable. Because I have a students message me, Miss, I don't understand this question. Then what? Which part? I'm still waiting for the question. Then what you want me to say in typing? So please understand. I also want to help you, but you have to make sure your question is clear enough for me to reply. Okay? Otherwise, I will ask you to see me directly if we have time. Okay? I hope that all the doubts will be clarified by week 14, because week 15 is your exam already. And I will have more duties after that. I may not have time to consult you already. I tell you in advance because you want to prepare early. You busy, I also busy, huh? Okay? Thank you for your understanding. Okay. Now we look at this first. Maybe next week I will discuss with you using the 2025 one. Now I found out that 2024, there are more questions, is more relevant to your coming final one. So focus on this first, January 2024. Okay, I believe you already downloaded from the Google Classroom, yeah? Okay, or else you refer here first. Okay, look at question number 1. Normally question 1 is a long passage. Don't be lazy to read. Don't be lazy to read. But I know some of you look at long passage, you already want to sleep already. So what to do? Okay, you can choose not to answer question 1 first. You can go for question 2, 3, 4. Then only come back question 1. But you do not know how much of space you need to leave it empty, right? You can start with first page question 2. But make sure you indicate the question number correctly. Every semester, I pity the student, should be question 2, then write question 1. No? Should I mark 0? Yeah, sometimes it depends on the situations. Okay, if the error is too obvious, actually I close one eye. But to prevent the moderator, later we have second marker. Second marker cannot offset, I cannot do anything. Okay, so the number of questions must indicate correctly before you submit. Check again whether you stated correctly or not. And we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? You don't just write question 1 and then you start to answer all without indicating which is A, which is B, which is C. If you follow the sequence, still okay lah. But if you jump A, B, C, you write A, C, B. So I will treat the B become C, C become A. I cannot help you to determine one. You have to determine yourself. Okay, this one make me take a lot of time to think whether to give you marks or not. Okay, wasting my time. Okay, so let's look at this question 1. This is MBSC, Malaysian multinational company specializing in the manufacturing and export of consumer electronic. Operating globally, one of the MBSC significant international foothold is in Indonesia, where it has established a foreign subsidiary. The business operation in Indonesia are recorded in the local currency, Indonesia rupiah, to comply with local financial regulation and maintain transparency in its financial reporting. So until here, what information you can get? This is a Malaysia company. The home currency will be MYR, and itself manufacturing means that they are going to export. This keyword, export to the Indonesia company and receive in rupiah. Okay, so this is receivable. Export, sell product, receivable. Import, buy product, payable. Okay. So you can indicate this information in your answer booklet already. Okay, the Indonesian subsidiary play a crucial role in MBSC's supply chain, contributing to the productions and distribution of consumer electronic. However, operating in Indonesia present unique challenges, including exposure to volatile exchange rate and prevalent issue of corruption. So the company is particularly concerned about the declining corruptions perception index score in Indonesia and the potential disruption it may pose to the supply chain in the region. So this is talking about corruption issue. Maybe later they will ask you about corruption, how to impact on the country race. Yeah. Okay. So it combined with what? Chapter 7. Okay. Continue. Despite these challenges, MBSB has secured a contract to supply consumer electronic to US retailer retailer with a payment term of 1 year. Okay, 1 year. The contract denominated in USD anticipates a receivable. Now it reminds you again, receivable 1 million USD in 1 year. So these are the three information you must have before you start to calculate the money market hedge. The finance team is concerned about potential exchange rate fluctuations in this 1 year period and is exploring strategies to hedge the foreign currency receivable. This proactive approach is crucial to safeguard the company revenue and profitability, ensuring that fluctuations in exchange rate do not erode the value of anticipated 1 million USD receivable. So this one, not much information, just tell you to worry about the exchange rate risk. Okay. Furthermore, the finance team is also considering the impact of interest rate change in US over the next year. There's an expectations that interest rate in US will decrease in 1 year. This is a predictions, yeah. Adding another layer of complexity to MBSC financial planning. Additional information, current spot rate. So this is SO. Forward rate F1 after 1 year. Then interest rate, you can write RM and RUS. Normally what I did is I will advise you to copy these 4 information in the answer booklet again. Okay, but you don't need to copy it in words lah. You just write this notation S, F, and R. Easier for you. Okay, this case the forward duration, forward contract duration is 1 year. So the interest rate no need to change. Remain 4% and 3%. Unless the forward contract here is less than 1 year, then you have to convert the 4% and 3% into the respective period of time. Okay? Continue. A. Given the foreign currency receivable, okay, calculate amount in Malaysian ringgit that MBSC will receive by using money market instrument for hedging 8 marks. For those that attend my class, tutorial class, I told you, right? This one, 8 marks. But they will expect you to write in details. Okay, I received some feedback from some of the students regarding, because previously you attend the SFM subject, right? Strategic Financial Management. So Dr. Wong actually teach you maybe slightly different the steps on how to get the answer for payable. Okay, I think most of the students here have these doubts why or confusion. Why different? Actually, they are same. The only difference is international finance subject. We require understanding by the student by right from timeline 0 until future date. It should be by sequence. Okay, you cannot. We have to borrow first and then we invest one. So that is the reason. That's the reason I want you to follow my template, because my template means that you put aside one calculate SFM. Okay, I'm not saying it's wrong, but the expectation is different. Expectation of the way you explain the answer is different. So if it's still confusing, then you do more practice based on my template. Okay? Receiver, not much issue, Okay, so for this case, receiver, remember the strategy is what? Borrow foreign currency, and then you need to invest in home currency. So for this case, foreign currency is USD. Then home currency is MYR. So you indicate this strategy in the answer script first. No marks, but just to remind yourself, okay? This question easier because only one interest rate, no lending, no borrowing, and also one rate only, no bid or ask. So it's quite straightforward, Okay, this is lecture hall, so I can't teach you like tutorial. Okay, so if I'm too fast, you just snap the picture, go back and study. Okay, if really fast cannot not able to snap, also you raise up your hand. Slow, let me know. Signal me. Okay, first normally we have 5 steps lah. Okay, first step we borrow first. We borrow what? Okay, this answer I try to simplify for you. The explanation part. not much. Most of the students they dislike to explain much. So I try to simplify by using this word. Just write borrow. At least you tell me that you are calculating how much of amount that you want to borrow. Okay, borrow how much? Then you show the working here. So here is discount back using the US interest rate, the 3%. So PV divided by 1 plus R. Okay, and then to get the USD. This is amount that you need to borrow in order to do hedging. Okay, after you borrow, what you need to do? You need to invest in home country, right? Okay, so you are going to convert in MYR using what? Spot rate. So next step, you just mentioned convert USD into MYR using spot rate. This one very simple, very short already. Okay, you have to mention you convert what to what currency to what currency. Okay, so we convert using the spot rate. So we multiply with the spot rate given. This is the amount that you need to invest. Okay, then step 3, you invest. You invest in Malaysia and receive. Okay, this part I combine step 3 and 4 because I already mentioned invest and receive how much. You can do that, okay, because the sequence is still correct to get full marks. Yeah. So you invest to in Malaysia. Malaysia interest rate is 4%. You double check 4%. Okay, is it 4%? Wait yeah, 4%. So 4%, 1 plus R. So this is total received amount. And lastly, you need, remember to repay the loan, yeah? Okay, this is receivable. Some students just stop here. Okay, if they say the question want you to elaborate the answer, you have to make sure that you mention this. So to be secure, right, you write this. Must write how much you repay. In case you didn't explain also, this is already explainable. Okay, so this one, how many steps? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 steps only. I combine step 3 and 4 together already. Okay, so let me explain again. What is meaning of money market hedging here? Actually, we are involving 2 markets. This is spot market. This is money market. Initially, if we uncovered, we do nothing. We don't do any hedging. We just rely on the spot rate. So we are exposing to the risk. So since now the company know that they worry about the fluctuation of the exchange rate, they want to do hedging using money market. Spot market is a fact already. We already entered into contract. After 1 year, confirm the company will pay us the 1 million USD. And this one will happen, still happening. About how to reduce this risk, we try to enter into another market at the same time. Okay, and then the strategy is borrow and invest. So referring to these questions, this 1 million, is it same as the receivable in spot market? Correct now? Because the question say here, after 1 year, the company will receive 1 million. Here, USD 1 million. Receive, right? I write positive inflow. Can you see from there? Okay, so in the money market, you repay. You repay how much? 1 million. Okay. This is how we offset. We take the money from the spot market that you receive from the customer, and then you pay here. When you do this, there's no exchange rate. Just doing what? Offset. We offset it. But at the same time, in order for us to make sure we prevents from the exchange rate movement, which is unfavorable movement, then we actually lock the total receivable here. If your prediction is correct, then this receivable should be more than the uncovered receivable. Okay, so end up it left what? It left total receivable. This 1 million already covered by the spot market here. Okay, similar for the payable. Payable, if here negative pay, right, we will take from money market, money, pay here. Then here we left what? Total amount that you need to pay, but lower than the spot market. Okay, so once, go back to here, This one, how much you receive, only write this is the answer lah. So total 8 marks. Okay, I think I'm not going to wait for you to copy one by one. After I explain, this one more on listening today. You listen, you understand, you take picture, go back and practice. Okay? Any question, come back to me. Okay. Have you taken the answer? Who haven't do so, please raise up your hand. Okay, good now. Now we move on. Okay, part B, 4 marks. To calculate the amount of ringgit Malaysia will receive with forward hedge to lock in the exchange rate. Forward hedge, you see 4 marks. Sometimes you give you 2 marks, minimum 2 marks, maximum you give you 5 marks. So you don't bother about the mark allocation for calculation question. Okay, it doesn't fix one, not standardized one. Okay, because I worry later you see 5 marks, then you panic what to write. Because here 8 marks have to write so much, then 5 marks should at least 5 calculation. No, still 1 calculations only. Forward, very simple. You just need to go to the forward rate here. Where is the forward rate? 4.813, right? Convert using 4.813 only. Okay? To get 4 marks. Easy or not? Very easy. So please score for the forward. Just multiply. 4 marks. Basically, how I check? I check whether you take 1,000 correctly or not, multiply, and rate correct or not, final answer calculate accurate or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, about, then 1 mark is bonus already. Okay, then part C, definitely it will ask you to recommend one. Based on the answer in part A and B, recommend with a reason which option is more suitable for company. So receivable, choose the highest. Payable, choose the lowest. So we compare 4813 compared to 4866. So meaning that money market hedge is higher. So your answer is money market hedge, but only 1 mark. So you need to provide the reason. Reason very simple. For receivable, you say because it's higher. That is the reason. But higher by how much you have to calculate. Like this. If you recommend money market hedge, 1 mark. And then you say because it's higher, I will tell you 1 mark only. You have to say higher by how much. So you need to calculate this part. Use the money market hedge minus the forward hedge amount, right? This one is the extra, means that you can receive by how much extra compared to the other one. Then only you can get full marks. If for payable, you recommend already, then you say because lower than the other one, by how much? Same thing. Okay, done? Okay, continue. I skip D, go to E. Analyze the country risk exposure in the context of growing issue of corruption in Indonesia. I'm going to show you some sample answer. When I say sample answer, meaning that you not really must be exactly the same. You can use your own words one, but make sure you have 4 points because here 4 marks. Okay, so the key factor is corruption. So you need to define what is corruption, okay, and elaborate how they actually impact on country risk. Remember, I tell you for factor, how the factor impact on country risk. Make sure if you are not sure, if you are not good in memorizing the lecture notes, okay, then you use this concept. how it impact on MNC. Remember I told you during this chapter? Okay, so here 4 marks, right? The structure of the question, the answer should be 1 mark for definition, 1 mark how it impact on the MNC cash flow, and 1 mark how it impact on the country risk, right? Okay, but only 3 marks. Here award you 4 marks. What you can do, try to play around with the definition. Okay, you elaborate the meaning of the corruption. Give example also can. So total 4 marks. Okay, when you mentions about this part, the factors, the meaning itself, if let's say the meaning itself already is a negative impact, then you straight away explain how it impact on MNC cash flow. It will have negatively impact, which is lower down or reduce the cash flow of the company. Cash flow can be profit, revenue, operations, business expansions will have negative impact. You mention about how it impact on company. Okay, so cash flow is just a guideline only. Not necessarily must mention cash flow, okay? And then country risk, if let's say cash flow will be reduced, then country risk automatically will be higher. Okay, but please don't write this point form for me, no marks. I do not know what are you going to tell. Make sure the description is clear for me, not too short. Okay, the best is of course this answer. Any 4 points, Corruptions can occur at the firm level or with firm government interaction. It may reduce efficiency and increase social issue. Okay, and then can affect FDI directly by tarnishing the perceptions of the country's stability and quality of the investment potential. Then MNC perceive corruption as an impediment to investing in the host country. You see, this point is already touched on what? MNC, how it impact on the MNC. And then, as a conclusion, how it actually impact on the country risk higher. So, if we award you marks, I normally focus on these 2 and any 2 points from these first 3 points. Any 2. Okay, if let's say you explain a lot about the corruption's meaning, but you never talk about country risk, so the maximum marks will be 3 only, because you didn't answer to the question. Question asks you about country risk. Similar, the question may ask you analyze how it impact on the MNC cash flow with this corruption. Then I will focus on must explain how it impact on the company MNC. If you explain a lot but never touch on the final, objective, then you lost 1 mark. So read the question carefully. So practice this for other 9 other factors. Attitude of the consumer, okay, government's policy and so on. So go through all the 10s, But I realize that corruption is one of the popular factor appear in the final exam. So you can take this as a sample answer. Okay, I move on, next one, F. Discuss 4 translation methods for consolidating the financial report of the Indonesia subsidiary in the financial statement of the Malaysia parents. So this is same as tutorial questions. We have 4 methods. What are they? If you're able to list out only, you already got 4 marks. You list out only. Current, non-current, monetary, non-monetary. You list out, you get 1 mark already. The rest of the 3 marks is explanation. So these 3 explanation, because here 16 marks. 16 marks meaning that each method 4 marks. One is you list out, let's say current, non-current, and then you explain what are the items using current rate, what are the items using historical, and last one, what are the items using average rate. So 3 things are current rate, historical rate, and average rate. Remember that. So these are the sample answer, but more than expectation. So I will expect you to mention these 3. You see, The first one is the definition. Still do revision for that in case the question asks you to define. So cannot skip also. Just get yourself well prepared here. So here the balance sheets items, they will say that what are the items using current rate, what are the items using historical, and what are the items using average exchange rate. This is the first one. So you repeat this for the next three methods, yeah? Taken. Actually, answer same as tutorial. Okay? Can I move on? Okay. Monetary, non-monetary method. Wait, together. Okay. So similar, 1 mark for the name, another 3 marks for what? Current rate, historical rate, and the average rate. Make sure that you identify. If the question didn't ask you to give specific example for the item, then no need. You just mentions monetary asset and monetary liability. Here they attach together with like cash, bank, deposit. All these are the example, not compulsory unless requested by the question. Next, temporal method. Temporal method, and at the same time we try to do revisions. These two, the main temporal method is a modified version of the monetary, non-monetary method, right? So what are the main difference? Inventory. Okay, everything is the same except inventory. Okay, you can say it's the modified versions, but main one you can focus on these three also. You mentioned what are the items using current rate. You can mention here including inventory, or you can mention at the second part, because non-monetary asset and liability in the second method they include the inventory. Now they accept the inventory. Inventory will be using current rate to calculate. The rest are same. And the last one, current rate method. Is the easiest method, but 4 marks on. Okay, 4 marks, then how? You still need to provide 3 explanations. Okay, because 60 divided by 4 methods, each must have 4 points. So you mentions current rate. Okay, this semester, students just pity them, they just write all item calculated by using current rate. Correct, but only 1 mark. Okay, so you need to explain by giving elaborations all balance sheet item okay, using current rate, and then income statement also using current rate. But if let's say you combine income statement and balance sheet together in the 1 point, you also can get 2 marks. Okay, I want to see how many points, not how many sentences. Okay, and then it's the simplest method and easiest way, because no need to differentiate which one is historical or average already. So meaning that all items are exposed to the rate. So compared to the rest of the method, current rate method is the highest risk compared to other. Okay. Okay, done for this. Skip question 2. Go to question 3. This question is more on calculation. Okay, you have just graduated from Thai UMP and are planning to travel to meet a friend in Singapore. You plan to spend 4,000 Singapore dollar in Singapore, and bid ask quote for Singapore dollar offered by Citibank is bid and ask here. Okay, now based on the given quotation, calculate bid ask spread. It just come in one package. We do also okay, because it may come out in any sub questions, even though I didn't highlight it just now. Okay, bid ask spread, the formula just apply only ask minus bid divided by ask times 100. Answer must be in percentage. 3 marks. So we just take Okay, correct. So we use the ask minus bid divided by ask. Okay, and you see, working 2 marks, And then final answer, what mark? 3 marks. Take the answer. This one no issue lah, huh? Okay. Let's move on. Part B. Oh, this is still part A. Okay, second questions. If you accept bank quotation, calculate amount of Malaysia ringgit needed to purchase 4,000. This question is good because you need to know the currency conversion also. Definitely you need to know. So these 4,000, which one you need to use? Bid rate or ask rate? Huh? Okay, I can't hear it. Definitely, I can't hear you right now. Okay, you purchase because you need Singapore dollar. So meaning that you buy Singapore dollar, right? Okay, so you are going to use the buy means we buy high. Okay, sell we sell low. So we use the 3500 to do the calculations. So 3.35. This question is to help you practice how to choose the bid and ask. So always ask yourself, what are you going to do with the base rate? For this spot rate given, the base rate is Singapore dollar. Since you buy Singapore dollar, buy at ask. So you determine using the base rate so that you won't confuse later. For part 3, if you returned with 1,500 or you return back, you already come back, now you have balance and the exchange rate remain unchanged. So we still use the same spot rate to do the calculation, calculate the amount of MYR you will receive. So now you want to buy back the RM and you sell Singapore dollar. So you sell using bid rate, okay? Sell using bid rate. You state it down if you not sure, okay? This is sell Singapore dollar. Part 2 is to buy Singapore dollar. Until here, actually, when we go through the past year questions, it will help you to build your confidence, right? Because quite easy. Some questions very easy one if you really practice it. I continue. Next, okay. This one just now I said PPP calculation important, right? One of the questions may look like this, possible, okay, not 100%. If the inflation rate 3% in Malaysia, 5% in Singapore, determine the percentage change required in Singapore dollar against the Malaysia ringgit to achieve purchasing power parity. What I said, when you want to know how to calculate, you need to know the theory of the PPP. You need to understand what is PPP. Purchasing power parity meaning that we assume all the country, if you afford to buy the product in Malaysia, you also afford to buy the same product in other country. Same purchasing power. But according to relative form of PPP, it said each country have different inflation, right? So now they tell you Malaysia have lower inflation compared to Singapore. Okay, so what happened to Singapore dollar? Okay, read the question carefully. Determine the percentage change required in Singapore dollar, not Malaysia ringgit. So you need to tell me whether Singapore dollar will appreciate or depreciate by how many percent? The answer is very, very easy. What is the difference between 3% and 5%? 2% only, right? But Singapore dollar is higher by 2%. So what happened to the currency of Singapore dollar? It will goes up or goes down? It will goes down. Okay, they always have a negative relationship because what? Inflation will reduce the purchasing power. Okay, and it causes people demand on the currency drop. So the Singapore dollar will depreciate by 2%. That is the answer. Okay, alternatively, remember we have two methods to calculate, yeah? Okay, this is one of the alternative method. We use 1 plus inflation home country, 1 plus inflation foreign country, and then V minus 1. Okay, but I tell you that you can choose not to use this formula. You can go for this, the smaller one. This one will be easier. Okay, it's just estimation. So you can see the answer is negative 1.9. This is negative 2. Almost there, right? It cannot be different one, big different one. Okay, the difference is by 0.1% only, so acceptable. This is what? First, this is the second alternative. You can choose either one answer to provide for the exam. So of course the easiest one is what? Minus lah. Use minus lah. Okay, so it's negative, right? Negative means that you need to interpret Singapore dollar will depreciate by 2% or 1.9% to achieve purchasing power parity. Must explain. Don't refer to this tick. Sometimes the tick is not relevant, not correct one. Okay, one tick, 1 marks for here. But here, 2 marks here, 1 marks here. The correct one is calculation correct 2 marks, but you didn't mention the meaning of this negative 2%. You lost 1 mark, unless you put the bracket at the back say depreciate. Okay, you put the bracket at the back of the 2% here stated depreciate lah. Okay. Again, there's for marking all refer to non-double penalty. If let's say you calculate wrongly, you calculate positive here you should interpret appreciate, but here already minus marks. Either one will minus 1 mark. Meaning that 3 marks you get 2 marks, not 0 marks. Okay, done. I go to part B. This one, you appear in your exam, right? In the midterm, right? 2 strengths and 2 weaknesses, 2 pros and cons. Okay, 2 benefit or 2 risk, same one. Okay, but this is what? Freely floating exchange rate system. Okay, 8 marks. 8 marks you have to elaborate. Final, right? Look at this. Listen carefully. If let's say you able to explain this sentence, because this sentence no error and understandable, you will score 2 marks here. 2 marks here. Okay? But if you are not sure how to explain this correctly, please, if let's say you use your own words to explain, you may use more than 1 sentence to describe. Go ahead. Make sure that your description is accurate and complete and clear. Can understand that? When I said this one acceptable, you cannot simplify the answer. Okay? Students like to simplify the answer and then expect me to give you 2 marks. Country is more insulated from inflation and unemployment of other country. Okay, then they try to simplify it, becomes something else, you know. Okay, you say country, there are different patterns of answer. Previously, there's one students, they give me the answer, can minimize the risk. So they say, this one say what? When I'm talking about inflation, you never mention about inflation. Okay, so please follow this exactly. This all definitely, if you write exactly like this, you can get full marks, 2 marks each. But this is just sample answer. We have more benefit and risk in the lecture notes you can refer. Okay? To be safe, after you explain, you further elaborate to get more marks. Okay, similar for other exchange rate system. Yeah. Number 4. This is what I mentioned just now. Moneyness of the options. So at least now, when you go through the past year question, you have some idea how the question will be asked. Describe the concept of in the money, at the money, out of the money concerning a call options, and whether options should be exercised in which each position. 9 marks. We have 3, right? Moneyness, in, at, out. Okay, so each carry 3 marks. You organize your answer, structure your answer, 3 point. Okay, but inside your explanation must mention whether to exercise or not. Okay, for example, and it is under call option, not put options, yeah? Let me explain to you. This is the in the money. So the one I highlighted is the main answer that you need to explain. Okay, in the money means that spot rate is higher than exercise rate. Means S, T more than K. You can remember using notation, but when explanation must write in words like this. Okay, when you study, you can remember this. Okay, and then when it is more than K, means that you actually buy lower at the lower rate compared to the market, right? So it is at the profit positions because what option holder can buy at the lower price compared to market. You have to describe. This is exactly same as tutorial answer. Then decision should exercise. If you try to explain by giving example all this, okay, maximum only 2 marks because I want you to mention whether exercise or not, 1 mark, 3 marks. If the question didn't ask you to give and provide any example, no need. Okay, don't create problem later. Your example is not complete or confusing. Then marks will be deducted. Okay, similar for the at the money. At the money means when it is equal. SD is equal to K. So since they are same, meaning that when you buy, the price is same as the market. So second point, just explain. They are same. So no gain, no loss. For exercise means that you want to exercise or don't want to exercise, the result still the same. And the last one, out of the money, SD is less than K. Now not worth to exercise already because it's expensive than the market. That is point number 2, loss position and should not exercise. 3 mark each. This question is about call, so prepare for put in case. Sometimes the question will ask both call and put at the same time, just like your tutorial. Stop here, take for a break, 10 minutes, then we come back.